Welcome to the last webinar presented by Laura Hatch. And if you stay with me till the end, I will reveal what that means. I have to tell you right now, I'm not retiring. I'm not leaving the industry, but there is some still exciting news. So I will share that at the end. If I forget, just let me know. Hopefully you guys can see me and you can see the screen. I will let you guys know, and I will say it throughout this webinar, this is going to be recorded, or it is recorded, and we will share this with you. So if there's parts that you miss, if you have to get off, if you're answering phones, if your team should watch this, we will send this to you since you have registered for it. So you will have that. And I think that's it. There is a chat section that you can send me comments. I will attempt to answer them if it makes sense at the time. And then if I can't answer it, then there's also a Q&A if you want to ask questions. So look around your screen right there and find the chat or Q&A. And feel free to send me questions. I have nothing but time here, so we'll get through this and then I'll answer any questions that you have. I think that's it. So let's get started. So my name is Laura and I'm the founder of Front Office Rocks. And what I want to talk about today is 3 C's to getting more new patients. And I'm going to break those down. But before we get started with that, I want to tell you a story. This is happened probably about 4 years ago. I was having some issues with my toe. Luckily, my son, when he was about 4, dropped a can of vegetables or something on my toe and broke my toenail. So I've had issues with my toe since then. And I went to the podiatrist. Walked in, the appointment was at 9 o'clock, walked in at like 8:50. Checked in, they had me sign the paper, have a seat, and we'll be right with you. So I wait. They then take me into the operatory, or I don't know what they call it in the medical office, but they take me into this room and sit me down. They have me put on one of those awkward gowns, which is actually kind of funny. I'm thinking about it now. Why? Because it was for my toe. But regardless, it was years ago. I don't remember. So I'm sitting there and they say, the doctor and the nurse will be right in with you, and out they go. And I wait and I wait and I'm on my phone and I check Facebook. And I'm looking around and I wait. It's 15 minutes. It's 20 minutes. I hear people walking by in the hallway. Here I sit in the room. I have looked at all of the magazines. I have looked at all of the degrees on the wall. I have played with every little thing that they have in there. And 30 minutes later, I finally get up in my little gown, hold my back and lean out and kind of look left and look right, and I see nobody. Now I've been sitting here for 30 minutes going, what the heck is going on? I peek my head out and I say to the nurse that I see down the hall, excuse me, I was just wondering how much longer I'm going to need to wait. And the nurse down the hall goes, we'll be right with you. Okay. I go back in the room, I get dressed. I walk out, I go up front and I say, I don't know what just happened, but I need to get to work. And they say, well, no, the doctor's going to be right in. We're really sorry we made you wait. With just if you go back in there. And I'm like, no, I need to leave now. So we say in our dental offices that kind of stuff doesn't happen. And hopefully it doesn't. I'm not saying that it does in your practice, but this stuff happens a lot of times. And if we take it out of dental and we put it into medical, I'm sure you guys all have stories about something like this. They dropped the ball there. I left, I ended up switching doctors. I never went back to that doctor. And I use this story to say, when I compare dental offices to medical offices, a lot of times when I want to show the wrong example of how to do things, I give examples from medical offices, because they just don't have their systems figured out. They don't have the customer service figured out. They don't really need to, like we do. So for whatever reason, they dropped the ball. And when you think about, well, where did they drop the ball? What was it? Is it communication? One person didn't talk to the other person. They didn't tell me what to expect. They didn't tell me, when the doctor was coming in. They didn't talk to each other. Whatever happened, they dropped the ball in communication. They dropped the ball in customer service. To leave a patient sitting in this room alone for 30 minutes, really bad customer service. That's like the worst thing you can do. And they dropped the ball on control. Like, where was the control in this? Who put the patient into this room and left me sitting there. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today, and what I want you guys to write down, because this is what we're really going to jump into today, is the 3 C's of the practice to grow your practice. New patients, reactivation, your regular patients is communication, customer service, and control. We have to define what those things are. We have to train our team on each one of those, and we have to ensure that we're doing these things on a regular basis. So if you don't know who I am already, my name is Laura Hatch, and this is my last webinar, which we will talk about as Laura Hatch. I am the founder of Front Office Rocks, but my background is prior to dental. I was in sales, recruiting, marketing management. I have my undergrad degree in human resources and my master's degree in organizational leadership, organizational development. So I was in business. I learned about communication. I worked with corporate, Fortune 500 companies on organization, systems, culture, leadership. All of the things that we don't really teach in the dental office, all of the things that we just assume people that we hire will know how to do and our doctors will know how to do, but really needs to be implemented and ingrained into the dental office. So I've been an office manager since 2002. I met a guy in undergrad who became a dentist, and that's how I got into dentistry. I was an office manager. We had a practice on the East Coast, a practice on the West Coast. About 7 years ago, I started a company called Front Office Rocks, and we are 100% focused on team training, working with your team, working with your doctors, working with everyone to teach the basics of what we need, specifically on control, customer service, and communication. That is the core, not to throw a 4th C in there, but that is the core to running a very successful business. So I had no dental experience when I got into this, and I kind of got thrown into dentistry because I married a dentist. And now I see that one of the main things that we're missing is really good training in our dental offices. We just assume our team members know what good communication is. We just assume that they know what good customer service is. We just assume that our doctors know how to control a practice. And really, nobody's ever taught us those things. So I am going to jump into that today. And I'm going to talk to you about this in our webinar today and future events that we have. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm a member of ADOM. If you're a dental office manager, I highly recommend ADOM. And in 2016, I was named one of the top 25 women in dentistry. So not too bad for somebody who didn't know anything about dentistry when I got into this. And I will put my disclaimer out there now. I'm not an office manager anymore, and I'm a recovering dental spouse. So no longer married to dentistry, but I love the industry we're in. And that's really what I want to talk about. So the number one issue that I see in most dental offices is that we are busy. Everyone's busy. I ask the doctors, what are your front office team members doing? I don't know, they're busy. What's your assistants doing? They're busy. The hygienists are busy. Everyone's busy. But the issue is, are we being effective? Are we all working towards the same goal? Are we all trying to achieve the same thing? So one of the biggest things that a dental office needs to do, and what you need to do with your team, is get into communication with your team about what is our goal? Where are we going? What are we taking the practice? Like, we just came out of a really crazy 4 months, and who knows if we're fully out of it yet or not. We have 6 more months this year. What are our goals for that? What are we trying to achieve besides, getting in under the new norm? But now what? We're here, right? So we need to make sure that we're effectively looking towards our goals, and then our team is all going the same direction. Because every action that we do in the dental office, everything that we do, every task should have an intention behind it. You are going to have a much more effective, high-performing team when they know what the goal is versus everyone being busy. Now, I have a dental chair out there because I want to remind myself to tell you that ultimately, and I'm not going to jump into it now, I jump into it later at other trainings that I'm going to talk to you about, but ultimately our goal is butts in the chair. That dental chair, if it's not full, we're not doing our jobs. And the reason that matters is because at the end of the day, if our patients aren't in the dental chair, we're not helping them with their dental health. We're not helping our patients live longer and live a better life. So every action that we do, every intention that we have, every direction that we're going, ultimately should be get new patients in the door and keep the patients we have. And we need them to show up and arrive for their appointments. Otherwise, we can't help them. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to get out of the dental box. We need to stop thinking like dental professionals. Now, clinically, we need to think like dental professionals. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying forget you're a dentist or hygienist, but we need to stop running our businesses, our practices like dentist and dental teams. We need to clinically be strong in our dental knowledge, but when it comes to business, when it comes to our small businesses, we need to be focusing on the things that matter. We need to be focusing on making sure that we are fully taking care of our patients. We're getting the new patients in. Every small business needs new customers. We need to keep the customers we have. We need to train our team so that they understand their role and their importance towards our goal. So I'm challenging you now to start thinking outside of the dental box. It's not about insurances. It's not about procedures. It's not about codes. It's not about packing that schedule so darn full. It's about putting control, customer service, and communication into your practice so that you can work more efficiently, work less, and get a better product for it, get more butts in the chair and help more patients. So let's talk about this. Now, this is a 1 hour webinar or 30-minute, 40-minute webinar. I am going to dive deep into this at our next event coming up, which is our new Patient Accelerator. And you'll hear about this at the end. I'm going to jump deep, deep, deep into this. We're going to practice and we're going to talk about and we're going to break down communication. But what I want to talk about today is just the fact of the importance of good communication. Again, we have not trained our team members. Most dentists and office managers don't even know what good communication looks like. We talk a lot in the dental office. We communicate a lot in the dental office, but we don't communicate efficiently. And we have not broken down and really analyzed the areas that communication is so vital. We communicate every minute, every hour, every day, and every month. And we need to make sure that our communication during these times is spot on. Because one of the biggest issues that happen in a dental office when team members aren't getting along, most of the time has to do around communication. One person thought the other person had an attitude. One person thought, they were told one thing, but they were told something else. The patient came in and thought they were told something, but the team member said that's not what they told them. We have a huddle in the morning and nobody actually knows. We're just go over production. Like there's so many points in communication where we drop the ball. We really should be teaching our team members how to communicate well every minute, every hour, every day, and every month. So the first thing I'm going to say is training and practice. You have to have your team say things from the heart. Now, I started Front Office Rocks specifically on phone skills. I feel that the area that we drop the ball first or most in the dental office is how we answer the phones, even if we even answer the phones. Are we answering our phones efficiently? Are our team members trained on answering the phones? Do they know how to handle shopper calls, new patient calls? Do they know how to handle patients trying to cancel their appointment or insurance questions? Like, are we really training our team members on how to handle these calls? And are they handling them from the heart? And what I mean by that is there's a lot of companies out there that teach scripts. When a patient calls and says this, you say X, Y, Z. When a patient calls and says this, you say 1, 2, 3. That doesn't work because our patients can feel it when it's not from the heart. What our team members need instead is to be trained to know why they're saying what they're saying, to understand the policy behind things, to know the purpose and the goal of what we're trying to achieve, and then to practice it. Practice saying these things from the heart so that when the patient calls in, they know exactly how to say it, but it's real for them, right? They need to be able to say it in their words. If I tell them how to say it in my words, it's going to sound like they're just repeating what I say. So we really, really need to help our team practice knowing how we want to handle the phones, how we want to handle patients who run 10 minutes late, how we want to handle reactivating our patients. Like there's so many opportunities where we drop the ball, but if we can actually train our team and help them with this, then they're going to be better at it. So an example of this is when a patient calls your office and says, do you take my insurance? Okay, so here's a breakdown. Do you take my insurance? If you are not a network for that insurance, your team member who's not trained well will probably say something like, no, we don't take your insurance, but we will verify your benefits. We'll da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Here's the script that we gave them. Well, here's the thing. The minute I say no, what do you think that patient wants to do? That patient wants to hang up, right? That patient's like, oh no, I'm supposed to hear yes. Okay, I'll call you back, okay? What we need to do is we need to teach our team members how to control that call. Because if we say no and the patient hangs up, then the doctor comes up and says, hey, did any new patients call today? No. Well, yeah, we just had a new patient and we didn't handle that call well. So what we need to teach our team, and what I break down for an hour and a half and we practice in the new Patient Accelerator, is how to handle that question so that you can give a positive answer. So yes, we work with your insurance. Yes, we take lots of insurances. Yes, we work with PPOs, whatever it is, yes. And then take control of the phone call. Okay. Now I know there's some insurance gurus on here who are like, but we're not a network. Patient isn't asking at this point, are we a network? Patient's asking, do you take my insurance? Ultimately, the goal is to take control of the call. Then we'll handle the insurance question. And there's a step-by-step, take control of the call, build rapport with the patient, schedule the patient, handle their insurance. Like, I break this down, but the team needs to know the purpose behind it. And the issue is the thing to consider is that the patients don't know what else to ask. The patients, when they call your office, what they should be saying is, how good is your dentist? Are there any lawsuits against your dentist? How much CE has your dentist done this year? But what they say is, do you take my insurance? Do you have weekend hours? Or how much is a crown? Right? Because that's all they know. So we could get really frustrated by that and just say, all the patients are worried about money or insurance driven, or we can know how to handle that call, but we got to train our team. And one of the worst things we do in the dental office is we take brand new team members, not trained, nervous, they don't know our office at all, and put them on the phones. You're paying money to make the phone ring. Don't put your new employees on there. Teach your employees and put your best people on the phone, because your phone is the lifeline to the outside. Your phone right now is ringing and your team is not handling those calls correctly because you haven't trained them. Give them the training that they need. Another communication that we need to work on is huddles in the morning. Now, if you're one of those offices that don't do huddles, reach out to me and I will tell you why you need to do a huddle. But for those who do huddles, are you actually communicating well? Are you communicating what's important in the huddle in the morning? The huddle should not be this is the procedures, here's the patients, okay, great, go. We should be talking about, how does the day look overall? Where are there holes in the schedule? How are we doing against our goal? What patients owe money? What patients have referred to us? And then any information about the patient that's interesting, because so many times we get so focused on tooth numbers, procedures, and insurance, we forgot that that's a person that we're dealing with, that person is paying to be part of our office and in our office. And then that person could leave and go to another dental office anytime they want. And the number one complaint of patients when they talk about dental offices is that they used to feel like family members, but as we grew, now they feel like a number. We need to change that, but we need to teach our team how to communicate and how to bring the right things to a huddle. Now let's talk about every hour. Handoffs. We are not doing handoffs well in the dental office. A handoff is not, here's Mrs. Jones, we're done for today, you can schedule her for a cleaning. That is not a handoff. A handoff is any time a patient moves from one provider to another. Anytime a patient gives important information that needs to be transferred from one provider to another. Anytime the patient moves from one location in the office to another, we should be doing handoffs. We miss so many opportunities when the patient comes in and then we do not hand off while they're in the office to the time the patient leaves, and we miss things like the patient told us they want to whiten their teeth. The patient mentioned that they have family members that need a dentist. The patient mentioned that one crown is starting to hurt or the one tooth is starting to hurt. Like, there's so many opportunities where we're missing information because we're not handing off well. And on top of that, patients are wondering, are we communicating between in our team or not too? And I'm going to talk about that more in control. But a good example of this is when an emergency patient calls in And we ask on the phone, what's going on? Where's your tooth hurting? How long's it been hurting? We ask all of the emergency questions. Patient comes in, dental assistant takes them back to the operatory, asks them how long's it been hurting, where is it hurting, all the information that they need to know. And then now the doctor comes in. What does the doctor ask? Where is it hurting? How long's it hurting? Like, are we not communicating well amongst our team? And our patients are thinking, I've already answered this question 3 different times. Do you guys not actually talk amongst each other? So we need to practice handoffs. And a lot of team members, when I teach on handoffs, they go like this: oh yeah, I know how to do a handoff. And then I actually have them do a handoff with me, and it's, here's Mrs. Jones, you can schedule her for her next appointment. That's not a handoff. There's a lot more to a handoff. And so we need to make sure that our team members are trained on how to do handoffs, okay? Second C, and again, there's a lot more communication. That's just the overview of just some examples that happen every day in a dental office where we're dropping the ball because we're not trained on communication. The second thing is customer service. Customer service is key. Patients do not know, people do not know if you're a good dentist or not. They really don't. You don't see patients walking around going, look at this great crown. Look at the shade match on that thing. Like, they might know your bedside manner, but honestly, patients judge you on everything else. They decide if you're a good dentist by the way you answer the phone, by how easy it was to schedule an appointment, by how they were greeted when they showed up, by how they were greeted to take back to the operatory. We in the front, we are the first and last part of every appointment. We are the first and last impression on that patient. That's how they're judging us. So our team needs to value and understand the importance of customer service. 86% of people, consumers, quit doing business with a company because of bad customer service. So think about that. The patients who have fallen off your schedule, who have disappeared, who haven't been in 18 months, 24 months, and we think it's just because they've gotten busy. Is it truly because they've gotten busy, or is it maybe they didn't get amazing experience when they were in your office? Maybe something didn't go well. When patients are coming in as a new patient, they're deciding whether or not they're going to get dentistry done in your office from the very first moment. And 7 in 10 Americans are more willing to spend money with a company that they feel provided excellent customer service. This is case acceptance. This is patients coming back for a second appointment. This is patients referring to your practice. This is all about new Patient Accelerator, because people will go out and write good reviews for your practice and tell their family and friends about your practice if you're offering them amazing customer service. But here's the thing. We haven't defined what that looks like for our practices. I believe there are 3 different types of customer service. There's awful, there's average, and there's amazing. If you're listening to this webinar, you're probably not awful. So, right? If you're here, you're not awful. But if you're average, why aren't you amazing? And I will tell you why. 2 reasons. 1, you haven't defined what amazing looks like. And I can't tell you what amazing looks like. Every dental office is different. It needs to start with you and your team. And that's what we're going to break down of what does amazing customer service look like for you? Because if I were to ask your team members, tell me a great customer service. Give me an example of a place you get great customer service. One of your team members might say Nordstrom, right? Oh my God, Nordstrom, it's amazing. And somebody else might say Walmart because there's a greeter when you walk in the front door. Your team members they don't have the same idea of what great customer service is. And dentists, you haven't defined it for them either. And then on top of that, you haven't trained them on good customer service. To tell somebody, I want you to greet patients and give them great service. Well, what does that mean? Let's practice. Let's shake hands. Let's greet the patient by their name. Let's offer them coffee. Let's make sure we give them paraffin wax or whatever it is for your practice. Whatever it is that's going to make you amazing, we need to define it, and then we need to train on it. That's how we're going to grow and excel our practices. But here's the reality of it. I'm a dental office manager. I know this all sounds great in theory, but how do we do that and answer 46 phone calls all at once while we're greeting patients, bringing patients in and out? We need to understand how to do this in the reality of a dental office. And I know I've been there sitting at the front desk when 3 lines are ringing, a patient walks in, the toilet's overflowing, and the doctor wants me to do a consult. I get it. So that's what we're going to break down. We're really going to go into I could go listen to TED Talks about how to be an awesome hotel concierge all day long, but that person's never sat at the front office of a dental office. I have. And so what we're going to do is we're going to really break down how to handle these questions. These are the new patient questions we get. We need to know how to handle them. We need to know how to take control of the calls. We need to know how to give our patients amazing service. We need to put it in perspective of the actual reality of a dental office. And especially right now, because it's more challenging than ever before, right? So we are going to break down how to handle these questions and what is customer service? What is it for your practice? How do you define it? Why does it matter? Like I said, I can't tell you what to do. I mean, there are companies out there and people out there that might, but that's not for me to do. That's for you to define. But I can help you figure out how to train your team on it. I can help you figure out how to make sure that you're offering the best you can for your practice. And that's really by breaking down the 5 C's of customer service. It's care. We have to care about our patients, and we're going to jump into that. We need to focus on the customer. I mean, honestly, who defines good customer service? Is it you or is it your patient? Ultimately, it's your patient. Your patient needs to, so we need to make sure that we are defining customer service with our patient in mind. We need to work as a team. We have to rely on our coworkers, because I could be the most amazing receptionist ever and greet patients and all of that. And then when the dental assistant comes out and goes, "Mrs. Jones, follow me," there goes all the customer service that I just did with the patient, all taken care of it because of the coworker. So we need our coworkers to all be trained. We need to communicate on what is good customer service. And then we need a commitment. We need to get a commitment from our team that they understand and they value the importance of this for our patients, because ultimately, this is a direct result of case acceptance. It's a direct result of case acceptance. Patients are going to be more willing to get their dentistry done when they feel they've gotten a value for what they're looking for, when they feel they've gotten amazing customer service. They're going to trust your office more. I know it's sad. That doesn't mean you're a better dentist or not. But when they feel they've gotten good customer service, they're going to have a higher chance of accepting the treatment. So it's our job to understand that. Again, what's our goal? Butts in the chair. So if I can give our patients amazing customer service, then I know I'm doing my job to help that patient accept treatment and get their butts in the chair. That is where customer service plays into all of this. And if you want your practice to grow, if you want more new patients, it's got to start with the patients in the office, because those patients in the office are the ones who are out telling other people about your practice. Okay. Thirdly, control. Now, control, many times when I first started talking about control, people are like, "Oh, our patients don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to work for a place that's, controlling." Here's the thing. There's good control and there's bad control. Okay. I'm talking about good control. I'm talking about giving the patients and your team the confidence that they know where we're going, what the systems are. How do we get there? What is my role in this? How do I play a part of this? How are we going to reach our goal? What is my intention? So many offices, like if I were to go in, I don't mean to laugh, but I talk to offices and I talk to this person on the team and they say this is their goal. And I talk to this person and this is their goal. And I talk to the doctor and he's over here trying to do this. They're not even going in the same direction. We need to get control in our practice, because honestly, it takes a team. It takes all of us. It's not just one of us. I understand that, many times we feel like we're on an island by ourselves, whether you're the office manager, the receptionist, the dental assistant, the hygienist, they don't understand what I have to do. But honestly, it takes all of us to do this. This is just in one appointment, 20 things that we have to do, from answering the phones, to checking the insurance, to greeting the patient, to assisting the doctor, to doing perio charting, to submitting claims, to repairing the equipment. Yes, you might be the most amazing person on your team, but you can't do it alone. And doctors, you might be so amazing, but without an amazing team, your patients just aren't going to get taken care of. So it takes a team. But when you have a team, you've got to put control in there. We've got to work as a team. And part of your job description is being part of a team. And I can't emphasize that enough. And that we're gonna dive deep into that in the New Patient Accelerator, because at the end of the day, we can't do this alone. Your job is to train, take care of patients, smile, give them good customer service, clinically be prepared, have the room set up, everything that we do. But that's part of your job description. Part of it is being part of the team. Okay. And so we're training. One of the things with New Patient Accelerator that's coming up in July that I want to talk about is that this isn't just for your front office team members. Like, it's not just for people answering the phones. It's actually for your whole team. It's for the dentist, it's for your hygienist, it's for your assistants, because we all play a part in this. We all are part of giving our patients amazing customer service. We all are part of communication. If I don't get the communication I need in the front from the hygienist about what happened in the operatory with that patient, we're going to drop the ball. If I give a patient amazing customer service, but the assistant comes and barks at him from the door, we're dropping the ball. If the hygienist has to come to me to ask me a question about a patient that really should be asked to the doctor, we're dropping the ball. We don't have good control. So we need to get control into our practice, and it takes the whole team. So dentists, I implore you to realize that you need to lead the team. When you bought your practice, when you started your practice and you put your name on the wall, like I did, when you put your name on the wall, you took on the challenge of being an owner, being a leader. And it's not just about production. So many times I see dentists, and I know it, we're just coming back from being closed. So I get the pain, trust me. But it's not all about production. It's not about shoving the schedule so full. It's about putting control into your practice. It's about being proactive. It's about thinking ahead. It's about knowing what your team needs and allowing them the ability to get what they need to help you grow your practice, right? It's just part of being a business owner. And so really that's what we're going to dive into, because your team wants you to lead. Your team wants you to think ahead, to plan for communication, to plan for customer service, to teach them. Because if we don't, we're just being reactive. And that was kind of the point of this webinar when we sent this out, was we are being reactive right now. Like I said, we got into the last 6 months having no clue that this was going to even be real, right? So here we are, we've been shut down for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever your practice is. We've had to react, but reaction time is over. It's time to be proactive again. And one of the things I want to remind you is, I know a lot of your offices might be busy right now. I know you're not up to 100% capacity yet, but it's looking positive. But I want to remind you that from a lot of our practices, we were closed in March and April, maybe May. Okay. So you were closed during these months. Well, guess what you didn't have during those months? Patients. So what is 6 months from March or April? August, September, and October. So you're busy now getting your patients back in, the patients that were already scheduled, getting treatment done that was not done during that time. But if you'll start looking ahead, August, September, the unofficial name in September is called Sucktember, right? In our industry, because this is when, and it's going to be just as bad right now, because patients are trying to decide, are their kids going to go back to school or not? Who's going to take care of the children? Maybe we'll be out of this and we can travel again. Maybe they can get a last minute vacation in. Maybe they have issues with money and they won't be able to pay for some of the treatment because they were laid off themselves. It's not going to be an easy fall. It's not if we just sit back and be reactive. So what I'm challenging you to do is be proactive. Let's start thinking about August, September, and October. And that starts with getting our patients back in, getting them amazing customer service, and then getting the new patients in. Let's start building our schedule so the second half of 2020 can be way better than the first half. Okay, so when it comes to control also, your patients want good control. Just like the story I started with when I went to the podiatrist and I sat there thinking, did they even remember me in here? You know, I've got magazines from the 90s sitting around me and I'm sitting in here alone. Where am I? When are they coming in? That's not good control. People don't like that feeling. And when your patients come in the practice, they don't even really like being at the dentist. I know that's a secret. You probably don't realize it, but they don't really even like being there. So they want to feel confident in you. They want to feel confident in your team. They want to know when they come in, they know where to sit. When they go back, they know what's going to happen. They know how long the procedure is going to take. They know what's going to happen at the end of the procedure. They know the follow-up calls that you're going to make. They know their next appointment. That is a good thing, and your patients want that. So the better you can get, and we're going to dive into that, of getting your systems and control in place, the better it's going to be for your patients. Now, change doesn't happen overnight. I know that there's a lot of times, and I've been guilty of it, where it's like, okay, great, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to lose weight. And then 3 weeks later, I'm like, yep, didn't do that. Talked about it, didn't do it. Same thing in the dental office. We're here, okay? And you guys want to get here, whatever that looks like. It's not a flip of a switch and we're going to get there. One of the things that I suggest, and I talked about a lot during the quarantine with offices, is what do we need to work on? What do we need to change? What do we need to fix? Think back to last December and January. What were your biggest headaches? What were the things that kept you up at night, that stressed you out, that made you drag your feet walking into work on Monday morning? And let's bring those back now that we're open, and let's work on them. And we have work to do, okay? Training, learning, putting systems in, communication. It's not something you just say to somebody, do this. We actually have to work at it. And that's where I'm here with you. Me and my team at Front Office Rocks, did I say that right? My team and I at Front Office Rocks are here to help you, because we know that it's not just the dentist. It's not just one team member. It's the entire team. And leadership is not a position or a title. You do not have to be the office manager to do this. You do not have to have a dentist or an RDH or whatever after your name. Some of the best leaders are the brand new employees on the team. Some of the best leaders don't have a manager after their name. Leadership is not a position, it's an example. And you guys all can lead by example, especially on the things that we're talking about: communication, customer service. You know, leadership really is respect for yourself, respect for others, and respect for your actions. And every one of us can learn from that. In fact, I want to post this all over social media right now, because I'm so tired of people pointing fingers instead of looking in the mirror and doing something that they can have an impact on. And you can have an impact on communication, on customer service, and in control. So leadership, the most powerful leadership tool is your own personal example. And that's really what we're going to break down and do. So new Patient Accelerator, training. This is what we're here for at Front Office Rocks. Here's the issue. Your team doesn't know what they don't know. I don't know what I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Literally, I know that's a big concept, but we don't know what you don't know. I can tell you at Front Office Rocks, we know what your team doesn't know. We also know where your team shakes their heads and says they know, but they really don't know. Dentists, I know, I talk to you. I see you shake your head when I talk about things and you really don't fully know. Are you in network or not? What insurances are you writing off for insurances? How are your phones being answered? How many calls did you get in the last week? How many scheduled? How many didn't schedule? You don't know. Then when you do find that out, what do you do with it? Right? How do you change that? How do you handle it? Well, that's what we're going to break down and do at our new Patient Accelerator. So the focus of this workshop is to get the why behind patient experience, to really break down what's customer service and define it for your practice. Every practice that comes to this will walk away with their own definition of customer service and their own training guide of how they're going to get their team on board to do that. We're going to break down the phones. It's the most important piece of technology in your dental office. We are going to break down all the questions your team members have. And then we are going to customize it and have weekly mastermind calls. So when your team members go back and they hit a challenge, because they always will, they always will get a call that they don't know how to handle, they can bring it to me and my coaches every week and we can break it down and talk about it. Because I have to tell you, doctors, just like you have procedures that don't always go perfectly, we have phone calls that don't go perfectly. In fact, I get calls sometimes when I answer the phone and I'm looking around going, is there a camera? Am I getting punked? Because I teach how to answer phones and I don't know how to handle this one. So we're going to help your team really implement this. Instead of coming to a one-day training where they hear stuff, they write notes and nothing changes, we want them to have changes. So the way that this program is going to work, and we had already started this at Front Office Rocks last year, and then COVID hit, which has actually been a blessing because we are already technology savvy. Front Office Rocks is an online training platform. So we never went in office before. Now we're just taking our live training and we're making it more virtual. So what does that mean? We are going to have a main Zoom room all day on July 31st where it's me, speaking, teaching, training. Your team members, you, whoever, will be on camera with me. We'll be able to interact. You'll be able to ask questions. I'll be able to practice with your team. And you do not have to get on a plane, wear a mask, and show up anywhere. We're going to do it in the comfort of your own practice or your team members' homes. We're also going to do breakout rooms, and we're going to have each thing we learn about, we're going to break out in smaller groups, and we're going to role play, and we're going to practice, because that's really how it comes. That's how your team starts to integrate it. We're going to have points for participation. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have our sponsors there. We're going to have Zoom rooms for our sponsors. And then the biggest part of this is we have 9 weeks of mastermind calls after it's over. So again, it's not just a one-day event. It's not just come, learn, come back, and then next week you go, nothing's changed. We're going to work with your team members in mastermind calls every week for the next 9 weeks to address those questions they have, to give them homework to do, to help them define things for your practice. We're going to help you and your team through this process. And if you can't make the mastermind calls, they will be recorded. We have thought of everything ahead, because I will tell you this, retention. When somebody comes to listen to a speaker, when somebody's learning, most people after 1 hour, at least half the people will have forgotten the information they learned. Then after 1 day, 70% of the information will be gone. And after 6 days, 75% of what is taught is gone. So we don't want your team to come and then say, okay, well, I learned some stuff, but I didn't implement anything. What we want to do is we want your team to have takeaways. We want them to have the outline, the guidelines, the things that they need to make a change in your practice, because we want to be here to help you. So please join us July 31st. There's information included in all of this. It's all over social media. Sign up as soon as possible. Commit to this. Commit to your team, because they don't know what they don't know. You don't know what they don't know. And this is the one and only time we're doing this in 2020. And you'll have access to it after the fact. You can go back and rewatch it. You'll have access to our coaches. We want to help you make 2020, or at least salvage 2020, and make it an amazing year. So lastly, I'm going to tell you why this is my last webinar as Laura Hatch, and then I'll answer questions. So please start putting your questions in the Q&A or along the chat, and I'll make sure that I can address any questions that you have. So the reason this is the last webinar of 2020 is you guys are officially, right now, if you're watching this live, my last meeting. I told you I'm a recovering dental spouse, and on Saturday, I'm getting remarried. Here's my thing, best day ever, 7/11/2020. So COVID couldn't keep us down. I am going to Palm Springs on Saturday, highest temperature ever recorded in Palm Springs, due to happen on Saturday. And when I come back next week, I will be Laura Nelson. So next webinar you see, I will have a new name, Laura Nelson, formerly Hatch. So thank you guys for joining me. We will have all the information about the seminar, the cost of the seminar, and everything included in this. We have the Rockstar Pass, the highest level is at $9.99 for that. And then we have coaches available to you if you want to talk about options. But I suggest you get signed up. We are going to have to max out how many can be in one room at any time. So I would suggest you get signed up as soon as possible. Information will be included, followed up with this. This will be recorded and sent to you. And thank you for the congratulations. I'm super excited. Okay, so on to the questions. Let me see. Okay, I can't see you. Thanks. Okay, I answered that one. This is being recorded and will be shared with you. So yes, look for an email. Give us 24 hours. I know my team right now is going, don't say too early, but 24 hours and we will send this to you. I would love for management in this office to see this. Well, great. We are going to send this to you. I suggest if you're on here and you're not the dentist, give this to your dentist as homework and tell them to watch it. And dentist, if you're watching this, you need to help your team with this. We are going to make sure that your team walks away and it's going to be 100 times worth your return on investment to really invest in your team and training. So give us about 24 hours to get you guys this. I don't see any other questions. So at this point, not to rush off and let you guys go, but I am off to get married. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next week, the week after, and on July 31st. I hope to see you guys all there. Be prepared, bring your questions, and we look forward to it. Thank you guys all so much for joining us today.